welcome everyone. Just a couple reminders before Bindo starts. Bindoji, thank you so much for being with us. I think some of us are very, very much looking forward to this particular part, especially of the Taitareeya Upanishad. I continue to be learning that it isn't just that we're re-listening to what we thought we heard, that there's actually things that we miss entirely. Our mind even blocks them out because they're a different way of thinking. And listening over and over, we really actually are bringing new things into our waking state awareness. So those are here available on replay, and they're also on Vintage's YouTube at Advaita Talks, plus some other materials are there as well. So thank you mostly so much to Bindaji and to everyone for being here. And you're welcome at the end of the class. There'll be a Q&A and to come up and share with us your thoughts that we'll all benefit from. Thank you so much, Bindo.
Thank you, Atmesha. Welcome all. We are on to the 9th session of Taitareeya Upanishad. And into the 2nd chapter, Brahmananda Valli. Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsharishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmatacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Loga Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyaptadehaaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahma Vidapnoti Param Tadesha Bhyukta Satyam Jnanamanandam Brahma Yo Veda Nihidam Guhayam Parame Vyoman Sosnude Sarvan Kaman Saha Brahmana Vipaschiteti Tasmadva Yetasmadatmana Akashas Sambhudaha Akashad Vayuh Vayoragnihi Agneirapaha Adya Prithvi Prithivya Oshadayaha Oshadebhyo Annam Annat Purushaha Savayesha Purusha Narasamayaha Tasyedhameva Shiraha Ayam Dakshina Pakshaha Ayam Uttara Pakshaha Ayam Atma Idam Pucham Pratishta Tadapyesha Sloko Bhavati. Om. So, we were looking into the beginning of the 2nd chapter, first Anuvaka. Brahmavid apnoti param tadesha bhyukta satya jnanam anandam brahma. So, in the last class we understood that what was the necessity for anybody to undertake the study of or the knowing of Brahman. Samsara, Nivaranam, Moksha. These are the terms which we are familiar with. But what is the connection with knowing Brahman and Samsara Bhava or Samsara, Vinirmukti or Moksha, all those things? This is the aspect which Acharya Shankara is telling in this commentary as a preamble to explaining the mantras Satya Jnanamanandam Brahma, etc. Here we will find something which is quite normal with our life and the way in which we transact in this world. Without any benefit, nobody undertakes any activity. So here also, in the beginning, Shankaracharya is explaining the reason why somebody should undertake the study of Brahma. Brahma with apnoti param. That was the opening state by the Upanishad. Why should Upanishad give this as an opening statement? Is to remove the apprehension which anybody undertaking the study can have. What is the benefit or prayojanam of such a study? And also, in a traditional way, there is something called Anubandha Chatushtayam, means the correlation of 4 measures for a study of a book. That is Vishaya, Adhikari, Sambandha and Prayojana. Vishaya means this topic. Adhikari is the one who is the apt disciple or apt student to undertake the study. Grahana Dharana Patu. It is what it is mentioned that he should be able to have the Grahana, absorption of what is being taught and Dharana of what has been studied. So here the Vishaya is Brahman and the Adhikari is, we know, Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampanna, and the one who has completed the upasanas of the first chapter and who has prepared himself with the Chitta Shuddhi as the prerequisite is the Adhikari. And what is the Sambandha? The Sambandha is indicated in the statement that Brahma vid apnoti param. And it is also the Prayojanam. Brahmavid, what is Brahmavid? Now, we are familiar with our earlier study of Mundaka Upanishad, where it is mentioned in that mantra, 2nd chapter and 9th mantra of the third chapter, 2nd Valli, and 9th mantra. Sayo hai vai tat paramam brahma veda brahmaiva bhavati. Sayaha, he who, he why are indicating for the assertion or indeed or verily. Tat paramam brahma, that param brahma is the one which is known. Veda means one who knows that, as that tat of the previous sections which has been mentioned as the param brahma, one who knows that. Brahmaiva bhavati, he indeed knows it as his own nature. Brahma eva bhavati means he becomes Brahman, or the literal meaning is that, but what it indicates is that he becomes a knower of Brahman as his own nature. Now, this aspect is what is being here mentioned by the word Brahma vid apnoti param. Asmat vijnanat sarvatma Brahma vishayadantikaha samsara abhava. It is the prayojana. Asmat vijnanat. From this knowing of Param Brahma or Brahman, which is in the form of Sarvatma Brahma Vishaya. It is the subject matter of this study, which is in the form of Brahma is the word used in the mantra, but that is indicating of Sarvatma Brahma. That Brahma is the Sarvandaraha, Sarvatmaha, Sarvabhu. These are the words which are used for Brahma. It is the indweller of everything, or it is the self of everything, or it is the creator of everything. Sarvabhu. And Vishaya. That is the topic here. So, the topic being Brahma Vishaya, that Vishayat Antikaha, Samsara Bhava. That is bringing an end to the samsara by making it as samsara bhava. Soyam eva aha prayojanam brahmavidapnoti param ityadeva sambandha prayojana jnapanartham. That is the reason why the brahmavidapnoti param as a statement was given in the beginning. निर्ज्ञातयोर् हि सम्बन्धप्रयोजनयोः विद्याश्रवणग्रहणधारणभ्याम् विवरणभ्यासार्थं प्रवर्तते. So, निर्ज्ञानयोर् सहि, absolute understanding that here jnatayohi, sambandha prayojana, between the connection between the relationship between the Vishaya and the Adhikari and the benefit samsara bhava in the form of vidya, of knowledge, through Shravana Grahana Dharana Bhya Artha, with the meaning of that knowledge in the form of Grahana, Shravana, Grahana, Dharana, all the three. Shravanadi Purvakam hi Vidyaphalam. Shravanadi means Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam. Purvakam hi Vidyaphalam. With that is the benefit of the Vidya of Brahma Vidya. Srotavya, Mandavya, Nididhyasidavya, Ityadi Shrutyantarebhya. In the Brihadaranya Upanishad also, the second chapter, fourth section, fifth mantra, says, Are Maitreyi, Atma va Are Drashtavya, Srotavyo, Mandavyo, Nididhyasidavya. Is the statement which Yajnavalkya tells to his first wife, Maitreyi, who asks why Yajnavalkya is taking to sannyasa when he knows the whole truth. So there must be something greater than knowing the truth with which is tempting him to take to sannyasa. So she is refusing to accept any monetary benefit or the share of as one of the wife of Yajnavalkya, and she asks him, I want to know what is that is so enchanting for you that you are willing to give up everything and take up to the life of a parivrajaka or sannyasin. So that time he gives the advice, Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. That is, everything we are doing in this world, every act we are doing in this world is because we love ourselves. Our love for ourselves is the reason we love anything in this world. Any activity we do for attaining, fulfilling, or making it complete is prompted by a hidden knowledge of the love for the self. Therefore, Atmanastu Kamaya, for the love of Atma, Sarvam Priyam Bhavati, everything becomes dearer to you. Therefore, Maitreyi, my dear Maitreyi, Atma va are drashtavya. This Atma has to be seen. Seen as what? That is what is being told in the Brihadaranya Upanishad in detail. But he tells this, Atma va are drashtavya. Shrotavyo mantavyo nididya sitavya. You have to hear about the Atma, Shrotavyaha. Mantavyaha, you have to do the meditation on that or mananam on that. And nididya sidavya, which has to become your conviction. That is what Yajnavalkya is saying, the purpose for which I am taking sannyasa. So, here you can say that the purpose of taking up Brahma Vidya is mentioned in this Upanishad also. Brahmavid apnoti param. Now, who is a Brahmavid? Brahmedi vakshyamana lakshanam brihattamatvad brahma tadveti janati Brahmavid. Brahmavid is now deriving the word Brahmavid. Brahma iti vakshyamana lakshanam. Brahma iti means the word Brahma here in the Brahmavid. Vakshyamana lakshanam, which is going to be enumerated with indicators, lakshanam, both as samanya lakshanam, which is tadastha lakshanam or indicative lakshana, and swarupa lakshana. Both lakshanas are included in that. He is not bifurcating it here, but later he will do that. Vakshyamana lakshanam is what is going to be explained. But brihattamatvad Brahma, the knowledge for everyone is that Brahma is brihattama. It is the largest, or it is the brihat most brihat. The word brihat is derived from the word brihi, vardhana. So in the Brihadaranya Upanishad, that the word brihat is there, which indicate that it is an aranya of large in size. No other Upanishad is so big as Brihadaranya. So that is why it has got the name also Brihadaranya Upanishad. So Brihattamatvad Brahma. That is why nothing is outside it. Brihattamam means superlative. If at all you are experiencing, knowing, or feeling, touching, sensing, understanding, known, unknown, all those things are within that, because that is the largest or the biggest. We will see that definition of Brahma in detail with the Satyajnanamanandam Brahma, that definition in the later stage. Then only it will become clearer why it is that. Tadveti, that Brahmaveti. Tad means here indicating Brahma, because Brahma, the word Brahma in Sanskrit is a neuter gender, therefore Tadveti. Vijanati iti Brahmavid. One who knows Vijanati. Vijanati means Visheshena Janati. One who knows with a specific knowing of Brahma. How it is specific, we will be explaining it later. That is person is Brahmavid. Apnoti means prapnoti. Param means, what does the word param means? Niradishayam. Adishayam means that which has got expansion, contraction, high, low, all those type of, variations. So one in this is Niratishayam means one without any deviation, means it is the same all the time. For example, space. There is nothing called a bigger space, smaller space from the point of view via space itself. But when we say it's a small space and big space, we are making that distinction because of the container or the upadhi of the space. But the space per se has no adishayatvam. Therefore, it is niratishayam. And that which even includes space, brihattamatvad, because of the superlative word which is being used. So that cannot be other than niradishayam. Therefore, Brahma, Param here stands for Param Brahma or Brahma, Param. Both are the identical terms, is synonyms. That is because it has no ups and downs, no variation, nothing happens in it. Tadeva Brahma Param. That is what is called Brahma Param because of niradishayatvam. Now the question comes, apnodi, prapnodi, reaching. Apnodi means to encompass or expand. Prapnodi means to reach, both indicating the almost the same thing, because that which is superlatively large has to be reached by encompassing into it, by becoming one with it. Otherwise, you can't include that in you or in your even in your knowledge, because our knowledge is also within the limits of the intellect. So intellect being a product of creation cannot measure something which is the superlative. Like just as we cannot measure the size of the sky or the space, because that is niratishayam. So what to talk about Brahma, which includes even the space? Therefore, the question will come, how does it, prapnodi, the word is here used by the Upanishad. Nahi anyasya vijnanad anyasya prapti. In this case, normally what happens? Asya vijnanad asya prapti. If I know a book, by knowing the book, I know it is a book. So I have the knowledge of the book. If I see something, fire, I don't have to become fire to know fire. So knowing is a aspect of fire or of knowledge within a limited sense. When we say that it is a prapti. Prapti here means not reaching, but here is attainment or grasping. So here the Brahma Param, how does it becomes prapnoti or apnoti? It is not the na, anyasya anya prapti. There is no anya other than Brahma, because that is brihattamam. It is the superlative of this thing. So here the Vijnana, by knowing Brahma, you cannot know it like knowing a book, knowing a fire, or anything that is known through our mental cognition. That to ascertain that only when here in the commentary it says that nahi anyasya vijnanad anyasya prapti. Here the prapnodi word cannot be taken in a similar sense of attainment or grasping of an objective knowledge. And this itself becomes the problem for all of us. Even when we think Atma, Brahman, the word, we have a tendency to objectify it. Therefore, we think that, there is a Brahma-jnana, Atma-jnana, like similar any other jnana of a book or a fire or an object. The objectification is a tendency of the mind. So a person who is listening to Brahma with Brahmaiva Bhavati, he also potentially would like to place Brahman as something attainable or reachable or graspable. If that is the mental imagination of Brahman, then it is something like Vishnu, Shiva, or any of your, deities which you are trying to objectify through an alambana or a upasana or a symbol. Even Om Gomidi, Ekaksharam Brahma, when it is said, it is for upasana purpose. That knowledge is used for explaining the purpose of Om as Sarvam. But still, it doesn't give you the knowledge of Atma, Om or Atma or Brahman. We will try to objectify it. So here, very clearly, Acharya says that Na hi anyasya vijnanad anyasya prapti tadeva brahma apnoti param niradishayatvad. So what he says is spashtam cha shrutyandaram brahma prapti eva brahma vidaha darshayati. In the shrutyandara, in the other shruti, which is here he is referring to the Mundago Upanishad which I referred in the beginning. Sayo hi vai tat paramam brahma veda brahmaiva bhavati ityadi. So, one who, saha isayaha, he who, Veda, knows paramam brahma, tat paramam brahma, that param brahma, who knows that, he, why means indeed, verily, brahma eva bhavati. He becomes Brahma himself. The knower is knowing Brahman not as an object, but by becoming Brahman. He knows that it is his self or his own nature or his own being is what is being mentioned as the word Brahma. Now, how does it happen? We have to know Satya Jnana Manandam Brahma in detail. So, as a preamble to that, here Acharya says that one who knows Brahma as Satya Jnana Manandam Brahma as explained in the Upanishad, Tadayesha Yukta Satya Jnana Manandam Brahma, that what happened is that such a person becomes indeed Brahma, means he realizes in himself that he is none other than the Brahman. That objectification doesn't happen to such a person. One who knows Brahman through the Satya Jnana Manandam Brahma. That is the purpose of the mantra Brahma vidapnoti param tadesha bhyukta Satya Jnana Manandam Brahma in the second chapter beginning. So here the opponent or Purvapakshi is asking a question. Nanu sarvagatam sarvasya cha atmabhudam brahma vakshyasi. Ato na apyam aptischa anyasya anyena parichinnasya cha parichinnena drishta. Aparichinnam sarvatmakam cha brahma ityataha paricinnavat anatmavat cha tasya aptihi anupapanna. Tasya aptihi anupapanna. The attainment of Brahma is anupapanna, is impossible to happen. Why? Sarvagatam sarvasya cha atmabhudam Brahma vakshati. This Brahma is being told as sarvagatam. It is spread everywhere. Sarvasya cha atmabhudam. It is the self of everyone, every creation. Brahma vakshati. It is the way in which Brahma has been told in this Upanishad. Ataha, therefore, Na apyam. It cannot be reached. How can it be reached? If it is sarvagatam, it is there everywhere. Where will you go from where to where? You are already in Brahma. You are yourself is Brahma. It is the how but this thing. And then you are saying that apnoti param. You are reaching that Brahma. Nade apnoti. Aptischa, he is referring the word apti. Anyasya anyena parichinnasya cha parichinnena drashta. Parichinna means one which is limited. So the one which is limited can reach another limited one here by either by knowing it or by physically reaching that. So it both has to be anya, one different from the other. Here, aparichinnam sarvatmakam cha brahma ityataha, the parichinnatvam or the limitation is not there in the atma because that is sarvatma bodham, sarvagatam. This is the definition being given. So it is aparichinnam, it is limitless and sarvatmakam. It is the indweller or the self of everything. Ityataha, therefore, parichinnavat, like a limited one, anatmavatcha, like a non-atma, or means the jada, not the chaitanya, nor the jadavat. Tasya aptihi anupanna. So the reaching of anybody attaining Brahma is impossible. Because Brahman is everywhere and it is the self of everything. So I cannot know Brahman, I cannot reach Brahman because it is myself. And how will I reach Brahman? Brahma with apnoti param. You are making a false, claim or benefit saying that Brahma with Brahmaiva bhavati. One who knows Brahman will become Brahman. It is impossible because Brahman's nature is sarvagatam, sarvatma bhudam and it is aparichinnam. So how can I, even assuming that all those statements are the real statement because it's all Upanishadic statements. And here now you are making a statement that Brahma with apnoti param. Are you not fooling me by telling that there is nothing outside me, my inside and outside everything, na abhyandaraha. There is no andara, no andar, bahya. So there is nothing where I can go and reach anywhere, nothing which I can know because I am the one which is to be known. So is it not that I am knowing myself? So how can I reach something like that? So Acharya says, Nayam doshaha. There is no falsity in it or there is nothing wrong in it. Katham. So the Purvapashi is asking how? Darshana adarshana apekshatva brahmanaha apya anapyayoho. So he is now giving a definition. Darshana adarshana apekshatvad. Darshana here means not seeing but knowing. The word darshana means knowing or it can be also seeing. But here the word is used in the sense of knowing. Darshana adarshana. Knowing and not knowing, apekshatvad, depending upon that, brahmanaha, of Brahman, apya anapyayo, reaching and not reaching. That is, it is through knowledge one can reach Brahman and not reach Brahman. Both are through knowledge. If you have knowledge, you can reach Brahman. If you don't have the knowledge, you don't reach Brahman. So, apya anapya of Brahman, brahmanaha apya anapya, is apekshat, is depending upon darshana adarshana, of grasping and not grasping it. Now there is a long sentence, I'll read that and then I have to come back to break it up. Paramarthato Brahmaswarupasyapi Sataha Asya Jivasya Bhutamatta Krita Brahya Parichinna Annamayadi Atma Darshinaha Tadasakta Chedasaha Prakrita Sankhya Puranasya Atmanaha Avyavahitasyapi Bahya Sankhyeya Vishayasakta Chittataya Swarupa Abhava Darshanavat Paramartha Brahma Swarupa Abhava Darshana Lakshanaya Avidyaya Annamayadin Bahyan Anatmana Atmatvena Pratipannatvat Annamayadyan Atmebhyaha Na Anyaha Aham Asmi Ityabhidhiyate. Now, this is a long sentence which Acharya Shankara technically has made it in such a way that without giving the example, he has made a logical statement. Normally, a logic statement has got a udaharanam in it, or a simile, or an example in it. Like this, it is like that. Now, wherever there is smoke, there is fire. Like in the kitchen. So the person who is familiar in the kitchen, who has seen the fire and the smoke together, he sees always say that the smoke is related with the fire. And for example, he mentioned the kitchen. Na Mahanasam. Not like the lake where you find the fog in the winter, that in the top of the lake, you will find the humidity coming in the thing. That is not a smoke. That is a fog. So he is giving an example which is for the smoke, and where you can misunderstand it to be a smoke. So both the examples are being given to establish the fact wherever there is smoke, there has to be fire. And the corollary is that wherever fire is there, there need not be smoke, because that also he has seen in the kitchen. Here he is saying that Prakrita Sankhya Puranasya Atmanaha Avyavihatasya Sankhyeya Vishaya. Now, what is this statement he is mentioning is that example is given in this statement. Prakrita Sankhya Puranasya Atmanaha Avyavihitasyavi Bahya Sankhyeya Vishaya Sakta Chittataya Swarupa Abhava Darshanavat. That is the example. Now, we are all familiar with this example, but the moment I tell, you will also remember, oh yes, I know it, what it is. 10 people are crossing the river. They are villagers, not much educated, and there was enough flow in the river. Somehow or other they were able to cross and reach the shore. And as soon as they reached the shore, everybody got themselves busy with, cleaning, drying the clothes, removing the water from the clothes. In that, the leader of the villager started counting the number of people. Did we lose anybody in the flow, in the current of the river? Anybody? Let me count. So he starts counting. Somebody was behind the tree. Somebody was sitting there and, squeezing his clothes for water to be removed. So he keeps counting like that in 9, 8, 7, 8, 9. Then he says that 10th man is missing. But the one among them says that Dashamattvamasi, you are the 10th person. The 10th, the TH, has got the Purana Pratyaya. That is what is called the Purana Pratyaya in Sanskrit. Sankhya Purana, the 10th, Dashamaha. In Sanskrit, the Dashamaha. So Pratama, Dvitiya, Tritiya, that Yakara, what you hear is a Purana Sankhya. Eka, Dve, Trini. That is numbers. But it becomes first, second, third when you add the suffix to it, like first, the ST, The second, they has got a ND. Third has got an RD. And fourth onwards, it is TH. So this suffix which is getting added is for the completion of the number. So the 10th man, that Purana Pratyaya. So that the one of the person says that Dashamattvamasi, you are the 10th person. What had happened was he has forgotten himself. So Prakruta Sankhya Puranasya Atmanaha, himself, he is forgetting himself to complete the 10th in him. So the 10th person being himself, even though Avyavahitasyapi, even though he is never hidden from himself. Sorry. That word Avyavahitasya, the 10th person was never hidden for him, yet for a minute or for a fraction of a second, he forgot himself he was the 10th person. So what happens is that Brahman, avidya or maya or whatever word you want to use it, that caused that which is not hidden from himself to be lost in the counting. So what happens is that Bahya Sankhyeya Vishaya Asakta Chittaya, because he was so busy in counting all others, from first, second, third onwards up to the ninth, he was so busy counting, going to different places where everybody is busy doing some activity. In that asakta chittaya, because when your chitta is asakta, when your intellect is entangled in the desire of to do something, that is the asakta chittataya. Your intellect was so busy in completing the count of first, second, third, like that, you forgot Swarupa Abhava Darsanavat. You forgot to see yourself as the completion. Sankhyeya means to be counted. That you forgot yourself. This person, the one who was told that Dashamattvamasi. Like that, Paramarthataha, even though in reality, Brahma Swarupasyapi, even the Swarupa is Brahma, Sataha, of all as whoever is existing there, or every existence has Brahma as a Swarupa. That is why Sateva Saumya Idamagra Asit. In the Chandogya we heard that. So, the nature of Brahma is Satchit Ananda, so that Sat is the Brahma Swarupa. So, Brahma Swarupasyapi Sataha. Asya Jivasya. This Jiva, who is now going to study the Brahma Jnana, as Satyajnanavanandam, even though his Swarupa is Brahma, Sat is his nature, he exists. Every Jiva has a feeling that he is a Sat. And he is now being told that his Swarupa is, he knows that he is Sat. And that Sat is Brahma, because Satyam Jnanam Anandam, that word Satyam is for that purpose. So that Brahma is your nature, is Swarupasya, Asya Jivasya, Bhuta Matra Krita, Bahya Parichinna Annamayadi, Atma Darshinaha. That Atma Darshinaha, one who sees himself as, now the earlier words are all adjectives for all of us. Bhuta Matra, I am a created one, or I am a part of the creation. Bhuta Matra Krita. So he thinks himself as part of the creation. How? Bahya Parichinna Annamayadi. By he himself is seeing himself as an object, Bahya. And how? Parichinna, limited by Annamayadi. So Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, all those koshas will be explained later in this Upanishad. So Annamayadi, so means like Annamaya, Manomaya, Pranamaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, all those Bahya Parichinna, all of them are limited and it is externalized or objectified by us. Tad asakta chedasa, because of that asakti of our intellect in objectifying ourselves as body, mind, intellect and ananda, all those things have, which is there, Buddha Matra Krita, as part of the creation. We are limiting ourselves to this physicality of the body, and that is done by our asakta chedasa. Our intellect want to objectify ourselves. It doesn't know how to see oneself, how to know itself. So the mind has the tendency, and that is the asakti of the mind, and that is the asakta chedasa. Paramartha bahya swarupa abhava darshana lakshanaya avidya. Paramartha Brahma Swarupa. In reality, even though when Bodha Matra Krita Bhakya Parichinna is our Atma, we are considering ourselves, Paramartha Tvena, in reality, Brahma Swarupa, we are all Brahma Swarupa. Tasya Abhava Darshana Lakshanaya. We are not able to see that Jnanam, Darshana here again, Jnanam. Abhava Darshana means Abhava Jnanam. We are having the lack of understanding or lack of knowledge of our Swarupa, which is Paramartha and Brahma in nature. Lakshanaya, that is the reason or the dependency for us. Avidyaya is the adjective. Avidya is now being defined by Paramartha Brahma Swarupa Abhava Darshana Lakshanaya. So avidya is now defined by the lakshana caused by misapprehension, abhava darshana of Swarupa, our Swarupa, which is Paramartha Brahma, which is in reality of Paramartha Brahma. That is the reason Annamayadin Bahyan Anatmanaha Atmatvena Pradipannatvad. Annamayadin Bahyan Anatmana. This Annamayadi, Avidya, Annamayadin, Bahyan, Anatmana, Atmatvena, Pradipannatvad. We are all considering, Pradipanna means accepting, Atmatvena, as our real nature. What? Annamayadin, Bahyan, Anatmanaha. All the Anatmas which are external to us, starting from Annamayadi, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, all those things are Bahyan, is external to us. We can objectify them. Even knowingly that we know it is an objectifiable object for our intellect. Atmatvena Pradipannatvad. By taking it for granted that it is my nature or I am that. Annamayadi anatmebhyaha na anya aham asmi iti abhibhiyate. Abhimanyante. Annamayadin atmebhya anyaha aham. Na anyaha. I am not separate from the Annamayadin is our understanding because of Chetasa, Asakta Chetasa, because of our Asakti for our, enjoyment through the mind, through the body, through the sense organs. We are perpetually getting enjoyed or attached to the world outside, even though we can objectify our own body, physical body in all the realms, whether it is Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, whatever may be the situation that is, we are able to objectify that in spite of that, Atmatvena Pradipannatvad, we are considering it as, I am the body, my name is so and so, I am a man, I am so old, young, residing here. All those things are na anya aham asmi. I am not separate from that. There is no other than that I am. This is our understanding by giving the example of the 10th man. Now, when that 10th man is being told by the person other than him that you are the 10th, Dashamattvamasi, same way, Tattvamasi, when the Upanishad says to us, we are not able to accept that we are that Brahma, Tad Brahma, Brahma with Brahmaiva Bhavati, Brahma with Apnoti Param. All those statements are ascertaining that we are Brahman. But our mind is objectifying even Brahman. Even Atma is an object. So that I will do meditation and achieve Atma Jnanam by meditation. I will do meditation or do karma to upasana or do whatever the kriya or tantra or kundalini, whatever may be that, I will achieve my Atma Jnana, because achieving, I have to achieve, because I am not Atma now. So I have to achieve Atma. That is the way in which we are now deluded ourselves. That delusion, when Upanishad says, when Shastra says, Acharya says, Shatakodi Shastra, then hundreds of millions of Shastra keeps on repeating to you that you are not what you think you are. You are. You are Tat Tvamasi. But we don't get to know Aham Brahmasmi. That knowledge is not happening to us. Because of what? Tad Asakta Chetasa. Because our Chetas, our intellect, is in a asakti, in an attachment, in a perpetual, objectification mode for enjoyment purpose. Therefore, we are never able to know who we are. Evam avidyaya atmabodhamapi brahma anaptam syat. Evam avidyaya, in this avidya, atmabodhamapi, we are none other than Atma. Bhutamapi, we are nothing other than the Atma. Brahma, that is nothing other than Brahma. Anaptam syat. It becomes impossible for us to achieve it. Tasya eva avidyaya anapta brahma swarupasya prakrita sankhya purana sya atmanaha avidyaya anaptasya sataha kenachit smaritasya punastasyeva vidya aptir yatha tata shrutya upatistasya sarvatma brahmanaha atmadarshanena vidya tata aptihi upapadyete eva. Now this is another long statement. Tasya evam avidya. In the deluded state, that avidya or maya or brahmam or the delusion or the misunderstanding or the ignorance or whatever word you want to use for the word avidya, that avidya, anapta brahma swarupasya, the one who has not been able to attain, or as if not able to attain the swarupa, brahma swarupa, prakrita sankhya puranasya atmanaha. That in the example how the sankhya puranasya atmanaha, when the 10th was completed by the Puran completion of the word 10th man you are. He realized his Atma, his own nature, or he is the 1/10th man. Same way, in this avidya, what anapta brahma surupasya, the one who thinks that he is not able to realize the Brahman, or I am not able to know Brahman, even though you are telling me I am Brahman, I am Atma, avidyaya anaptasya, due to the misapprehension or the non-apprehension or delusion or ignorance, you decide or you become as if you cannot know yourself, which is sataha, your nature being sat. You know you exist. Nobody else can tell that you exist or not. Only you can say. In spite of the fact that you are the existence, you know that you exist. Kenachit smaritasya. Whoever thinks that he is existing. Puna tasyaiva. Again, his own vidya, his own knowledge, which was not allowing him to know himself. Now the correct knowledge, when it happens, punas tasyaiva vidya aptir yada. He knows he is Atman or he is Brahman. Yatha tata, here he is giving an example. Shruti upadishtasya sarvatma brahmanaha. So Shruti upadishtasya, the one to whom the Shruti has, the Upanishad and the Shastra has advised, sarvatma brahmana. This Atma of yours and of every creation is Brahman. That is why Sarvatma Brahmana. So Brahma is not your alone. It is Sarvatma. In the entire creation, the entire Akasha is also having its own Atma. And therefore, it is Mahattamam. It is Brihattamam. It is the largest, or it is encompassing everything. Atmatva darshanena. By realizing that you are not outside that Brahman. You are inside space. Doesn't need to be told that you are also equally made of space. Same way, nothing is outside Brahman. But we have to objectify Brahman, therefore we don't achieve Brahman. Remaining inside Brahman, how can we objectify Brahman? We cannot. So, Atmatva darshanena vidyaya atmasya darshanena tadapti. So, by the right knowledge which is being told Shruti Upadishtasya, that knowledge when told by the Shruti, Sarvatma Brahma is the same Atma, I am also that, and Sarva Atma. So, I am not separate, not anybody is separate, everything is in Atma, like everything is in space. Vidya tad apti, tasya apti hi tadapti. Vidya tadapti. By knowledge, by knowing Brahmavid, that Vidya. Vidya is the same thing which is saying Brahmavid apnoti param. Therefore, he reaches aptihi upapadyede, attains. That is how he attains that Sarvatma Bhava or Sarvam Aham Asmi, Aham Brahmasmi, that Eva. This is how the Brahmavid apnoti param is giving us the assurance and the prayojanam, sambandham, vishaya, Brahma as a vishaya, we are the adhikaris, and for us, the relation between us and the Brahma is being now given by the word Brahma vid apnoti param, and we have to now remove our ignorance by analyzing, thinking about this statement of Acharya, explaining that one small statement, Brahma vid apnoti param, how to be understood, like the example given of the 10th man, is that you are Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi. When the Brahma Shuddhi Upadishta happens, we should be instantaneously knowing that we are that. Tad. Tat Tvamasi. That Tat is nothing but Brahma. Tadeva Saumya Idamagra Asi. Sateva Saumya. We know that we are existing. Who else can tell you you are existing? I can see your body existing, your physical existing, your house existing, your car existing, everything. But you are existing for yourself first. Then only you can say that I exist. It is my house, my car, my body, everything comes after that. You have to exist first. Sataha, that Sat or the Satyam in that. Satya Chit, Satya Jnanam Anandam Brahma. That is your Atma Darshana. That is your knowing of yourself. Then that knowing of yourself is the apti which is here telling Brahmavid apnoti param. That reaching is like this, is how Acharya is explaining. We'll continue this in the Friday class. I'll stop it here. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Bindaji. This was a really beautiful class. Thank you so much for really taking the time to emphasize, the obstacle of thinking that there are certain things that we must do and focusing on the doing to get there rather than the beingness that's here. It's very beautiful. Everybody, we're going to open up hand raising and the chat in just a moment. And this is your opportunity to please come up and discuss anything from today's class with Bindaji or on the episode, so to speak, of the earlier of this Upanishad. This was our 9th class. Anyone new, please feel free to join this house and join us for classes on Wednesdays and Fridays and an open Advaita Vedanta Q&A on Sundays. So we'll move into the question and answer or things that are on your mind from this Upanishad. It was very beautifully done. While we get ready for that, Prakash, would you like to say anything?
Namaste, greetings. Pranam Binduji. Sorry, I missed the first 15
Pranam.
minutes. Whenever I listen to this Panchakosha, Anandamaya Kosha, there's one question that always, it's not a, troublesome question, but it's a question that goes into a kind of analytical state, right? So this Sarvatma Bhava, right, Atman, then the aspect of Brahman. So I don't know if you indicated anything about that in the first 15 minutes. I'll listen to the replay. But I would like to know a little bit more about the kind of linguistic relationship there and what because anyway, I mean, at that state, there is no separation. But how would you delve into that aspect of Sarvatma Bhava in the Brahman? Thank you.
This is why in the last sentences, Acharya Shankara is very categorically saying, avidya, due to the ignorance, delusion, or the nature of objectification by the body, we feel that there is everything as multiplicity other than me, and they are separate from me. Even though we know that I exist, you exist, anything which we know has to exist for us to know it. At least taking that as the minimum requirement for commonality between all the things which you can think about, know about. You cannot know something which is not existing. You cannot even imagine the non-existence in any form. So, all the existence, even though they are appearing in the names and forms as sarvam in the definition, what is the commonality in all of them? If you can remove the names and forms, you will find that all of them has one thing only, existence. The existence, when it adorns the name and form, we call it as independent existent things. So when we remove the name and form of every object, including ourselves as who we are, we know we exist. And anything which we know also has to exist. That knowledge, at least the Sat as a knowledge or the acceptance, not trying to objectify as separate from existence. That is why when I am trying to look at the existence of things, everything, I am not trying to include me into that everything. Because I am keeping myself as a witness, an observer, or separate from everything. That will not work as a Sarvatma Bhava. Because you are also existing. How your existence can be separate from anybody else's existence or anything else's existence? No, existence is the same existence. There is no your existence, my existence separate. But you and my, when the names are coming, that is where the mind is in a perpetual asakta chedasa. The word used is that bahya asakta chedasa. To objectify is the very nature of our mind. Therefore, it cannot be grasped by the mind. The bhava, even though the word is used bhava, there it is by nature, not as a imagination or an ideation or a notion. No, it is being the existence. You have to see everything in yourself, or you are with everything. There is no difference between yourself and others. That is how Sarvatma Bhava has to be understood.
Yes, thank you, Binduji.
Thank you, Prakash. Thank you very much. Are you good for now? Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Srini, namaste.
Yeah, hi, Namaste Bindaji, Namaste Atmish,
Namaste.
Namaste Prakash. So Bindaji, a very beautiful session. So I think I felt that the whole today's class, I felt it's nicely summarized in one shloka in the Dakshinamurti Stotra, right? I think fifth one. Deham pranam apindriyanyapi chalam buddhim shunyam viduhu. That shloka. So I think it was ringing in my ears, and it felt like this is exactly the commentary for that shloka also. So very nice.
Yeah, that's right.
Namaste, everyone. Namaste, Bindoji.
Namaste, Karin.
That was such a beautiful session. It really brought clarity in the Satchitananda consciousness. The way I've been looking at it, that the multiplicity of the expression of consciousness And that is what we are experiencing in form, right? We are looking at each other as an expression of form. But if we interact with each other, then the only way we are able to interact with each other is through the ego, through that image of self, that we are a person, that we are, and that we are able to recognize each other. So that image of self is that part that is interacting on the outside in relationship. If the self-aware, that is the awareness in consciousness that is inherent in the expression, right? Like a tree. It has an awareness, or like a sunflower that is able to turn to the sun. And it is aware it is in need of that sunlight. So it is that awareness in the individual form that creates that self, that consciousness, that individual expression. Then comes the step aware of self. So that is basically knowing the knowledge that we are the 10th person, that what you were talking about, plus the fact that that everything that is self-aware is my nature. So it is what I am in the totality of all of it. That's how I've been looking at it. Hope it makes sense.
Yeah, you're right. That is how it is to be seen.
Thank you.
Good evening, Bindoji.
Good evening, Dinesh.
It was a fantastic session, but very, very cryptic and challenging to the mind, and finally telling the mind, just shut up. Don't try to imagine. It actually, as Srini said, it was again driving me too towards the Dakshinamurti Stotram, that Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanam Dhyanamurtim. So it is only to contemplate till we reach that state, and there is nothing to become as such. It is only getting immersed in the being itself. Is that what the entire thing is about, Bindoji?
Yeah, see, you cannot objectify
Yeah,
yourself. Can you objectify yourself?
impossible. Yeah,
Yeah. So that is why we are objectifying, is because our mind is of a nature of objectification. Mind cannot function if there is no object in it. Anything mind want to touch, mind objectifies, then only it becomes accessible to the mind. But in the case of the 10th man, he was not an object. By mere the statement by that you are the 10th one counter, that missing person which was the 10th, he became that.
yeah,
Now here we have a missing Atma or Brahman which we are never able to grasp or catch. We are always trying to find out what is the Brahman, what is the Atma. It is a missing one for us. When Upanishad says that Tattvamasi, like the 10th man realized, oh, I am the 10th. Okay, I forgot to count because of my ignorance or my was looking for the 10th man outside me. That way, when the Tattvamasi is being heard, that knowledge that we are that Brahman or I am that Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, has to become our experience, our knowledge. Not like, no, I know anything outside me, like the Annamayadi in Bahyan, all the things which are From the body onwards, everything is bahya for me, external for me, including our mind. Still, we are in the clutch of the mind to objectify even Atma and Brahma. That can only happen when we are into what you call a
Brahmasthiti.
state where mind stops objectifying. That will happen when we have Chitta Shuddhi. When our mind is without any avidya in it, it is not having any misapprehension, none of the kashaya, avidya, samshaya, viparya, the three type of knowledge which is there in our mind, because of which we objectify things. That will not do objectifying of Atma. That knowledge should give us the mind to become quiet, and we will be ourselves. Not manasya eva anudrashtavyam is a statement. How we will see that when that Brihadaranya Upanishad, when we take it. But that should be known that mind cannot know it. Vitnyadaram are kena vijaniyat. Who will know the knower? That is what the Upanishad is saying.
So is it a continuous inquiry by, as you said, Shravana, Manana, Nidhyasana about the Mahavakyas, and continuous inquiry into ourselves that it can be one day the 10th man?
The Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana is only to remove that mind to be in operation. The Shravana and Manana will train the mind, and when it becomes Nididhyasana, the mind will become quiet. That is the success of Nididhyasana. And in a no mind state, Amani Bhava, what Mandukya says, in that state of no mind, but we are aware, we are fully aware. That awareness is not of the mind, but of our nature. And we are aware of ourselves in ourselves without mind operating. That is a state, that is a being, that is a Swarupa.
Thank you, Bindoji. Many a time I feel that, is it a possibility? And no answer for that for me. But the conviction with which your words come make me feel that yes, it is a possibility. Thank you.
If it is not a possibility, these Upanishads would not have survived thousands of years.
Yes.
It is the anubhava of those who have inquired into it. It has everybody who has done sincere follow-up based on the Upanishad has realized it. You too can do it, because you are not other than that.
Yes.
Tadu Tvamasi. So how can you say that I will read that Sunday? No, you are that even this very moment. But it is your mind which is holding you to objectify it. Don't objectify it.
Thank you very much, Bindoji. Pranams.
Thank you, Ganesh. So we're nearing the end of our Q&A for this particular class that we had today. But if there's anyone who has anything they'd like to raise, related to the class that we just had, or this Upanishad and the parts of it that we've already covered, please come up. Otherwise, please join us on Friday for the class and on Sunday for a general Advaita Q&A. Is there anyone else who has something for today? Then raise your hand.
Good enough, I think.
Okay, good. Then we'll call it good for today. Give Bindaji a little bit of extra time, maybe to prepare the next class, which takes a lot of effort, and we're very grateful for that, Bindaji. Again, classes 8:30 p.m. IST, which is the same as 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday and Friday here, and at the same time, general Advaita Q&A on Sundays. Please join us for questions that you have at any level, in any
There is a
language.
question. There is a question
Okay.
in the chat by Rajat M. If hypothetical, in future a subtle body can be created or made with all its components, would pure consciousness be reflected there? Who creates a subtle body? I mean, Rajat, can you come up and clarify that? I am not able to understand your question. Can you come up? Oh, okay. See, nothing is outside consciousness. It is not that reflection of consciousness will happen in something. It has to come from outside, other than consciousness. Something other than consciousness doesn't exist. Can you say something which is not in consciousness? Then your question has got a validity. But both known and unknown are in consciousness. So, even the hypothetical future, a subtle body, it has to come from the unknown, which is already in consciousness. So when it comes into as a reflected body, that it is not away from consciousness before and now. So the answer you know now. It cannot be outside consciousness. Hope it clears you.
Thank you for catching that, Bindaji. I saw it, but I wasn't sure if we wanted to go to the chat. And, there are some people here today who seem, maybe they're new to Clubhouse even. Every one of us in this group who seems to know each other, some of us, we were brand new at some point, especially someone like me who's actually from a different country. So please don't hold yourself back in the future when we have more rooms. We will close up hand raising for today, but we'll continue. Again, the replays are here for various Upanishads, and other Upanishads as well are on Bindaji's YouTube at Advaitic Talks. So that's a terrific resource for all of us. I'm very grateful to you, Bindaji, and to everyone who's here. And we hope to see you on Friday if you're available to join us here. Prakash, do you want to say anything before Bindo closes us out?
Just a big pranam to Binduji for guiding us through this. This part of Taitareeya Upanishad is something that one has to experience oneself through Nididhyasana. So, thank you, Binduji. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Atmisha. Thank you, Prakash. And Abhi, for your question, keep continuing to come to the class. In the next class or the following class, I will be answering to your question, which will be coming up in the part of my discussion. So you can listen to that at that time. Thank you all. We'll meet on Friday again for the continuity of this class. Thank you.
Thank you, Binduji.
Hari Om.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Namaste.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.